What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 11:38 a.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and there's some major breaking news coming out of Romania. We also have some major breaking news about Tropical Storm Lee. I want to first start with Romania. So, the Romanian defense minister said today in a press conference in Romania that they have found remnants of a Russian drone inside of Romanian territory. Okay. So that is absolutely huge. They're basically backtracking on what they initially said. Okay. If you remember when I initially reported this, Romania said that this was not true, that there was no threat to Romania, and blah, blah, blah. And now the defense minister of Romania is saying that they did, in fact, find pieces of a drone in Romanian territory. Okay. So this is absolutely huge news, guys. Okay. Um, what is NATO going to do about this? Probably nothing. I mean, remember, Biden said they would defend every inch of NATO territory. Well, what's going on here? So, the Minister of National Defense of Romania, Angel Tilvar, acknowledged the seriousness of the situation and expressed concerns about potential implications for regional security. He said that it happened near the village of Ploru. I'll show you guys on the map where that is. He said that the discovery is a matter of great concern for our national security. We are committed to investigating the incident thoroughly and taking appropriate measures to ensure the safety and sovereignty of our border. The defense minister's admission took place mere hours after the last press conference held by President Klaus Iohannis on the topic, in which he reiterated that no piece, no drone, and no part of a device landed in Romania. When questioned whether Romanian authorities tried to hide that information, the Romanian defense minister said, "My initial information was based on what was available to me at the time. It was done in good faith, and I had nothing to gain. In no way was there an attempt to hide the incident, and we did not want to hide the finding of the drone pieces." So, very interesting. The president of Romania was basically categorically denying not even a single piece of a drone landed in Romania, and his defense minister saying the opposite, that they found remnants. Okay. So this is just proof that governments lie to people. Okay. This is just proof that, you have to use common sense. You can't trust what governments say. All right. But this is huge news, guys. Okay. A Russian drone landing on Romanian territory and detonating, being confirmed now by the Romanian defense minister. Okay. Finding pieces of a drone. And this is exactly where this happened. Ploru. Okay. That's the name of the village. Okay. It's right here along the Ukrainian Romanian border near the city of Izmail, and right on the Danube, okay, right over here. This is apparently where it happened. Initially, they said it was near Reni, which is over here to the west about, I don't know, 40 miles or so. But they're saying it actually happened in Ploru. And we currently have another Doomsday plane in the air, just took off from Offutt Air Base, and we also have a nuclear war command and control plane in the air as well. And we also have an aerial refueler that was doing loops off the Jersey Shore near the Hudson Canyon. Very interesting. And yesterday there was two of these aerial refuelers doing loops right in this area as well. So I don't know if we have some aircraft operating in this area with their transponders off, maybe an E-6, a nuclear war command and control plane that they're aerially refueling in here. But a lot of doomsday plane activity the past month. Another one in the air today, taking off at the same time as a nuclear war command and control plane, an E-6B Mercury, also known as Takamo. These planes are responsible for remotely launching all of our Minuteman III ICBMs, and they can also send out nuclear attack options to our ballistic missile submarines and also to our bombers. And they can also send out emergency war orders, or those are also known as nuclear launch codes, okay, to issue a launch. So they're very, very important. And one of these planes just took off at the same time as a presidential doomsday plane. Okay, so this is absolutely crazy, guys. A lot of stuff going on. And we also have right now an AWACS plane operated by NATO patrolling the Danish Straits over here between Norway and Denmark. Okay, very interesting. And earlier today, we had an AWACS plane operating in northern Turkey along the Black Sea coast. All right. So a lot of stuff going on. And we have a massive number of emergency action messages again this morning. We have already like 9 of them. Um, Absolutely crazy. And want to just give you guys an update on Tropical Storm Lee. It is forecasted to become a major hurricane. We have models saying that this thing could strengthen to 170 miles per hour. Okay, 170 mile per hour winds, which would be well over Category 5, which is 155 or 156 miles per hour minimum to get to Category 5. So this thing is going to explode and really intensify. And the National Hurricane Center has now, in their latest update as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time, they're saying that this thing is going to have 150 mile per hour winds at peak intensity, but they're saying that they're in the middle of what the model consensus is. Okay, so there's models that are saying higher, some models saying lower. They're in the middle. Okay, and there are models saying even 180 miles per hour. Okay, and here's the latest warning cone. You can see it's going directly towards Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. Okay, so if you're in the southeastern U.S. and anywhere along the eastern seaboard from Florida to Maine, you need to make sure you're prepared for this thing, because this thing could just rake up the entire eastern seaboard and rip everything up along its way. All right. So make sure you're getting prepared now, because you still have time. Okay, it's pretty far out there. It's not even going to get near the Bahamas until next week, sometime early next week. Okay, so we still have time to prepare for this thing. You have at least probably a week or even more before it's going to start to impact the U.S. All right, we have record warm waters here in the Caribbean and the Gulf, so plenty of energy for this hurricane to strengthen even more. Okay, so let me just show you guys the latest satellite imagery. You can see how this tropical storm is basically on the verge of becoming a hurricane. As of right now, it has 70 mile per hour winds, and it's really starting to develop quickly into a hurricane. It's really starting to get that classic cyclone shape. Okay, and let me just read to you some of the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Despite the continued increase in organization, there appears to be some east-northeasterly shear over Lee. The shear is forecast to relax within the next 24 hours, and given the well-organized low-level structure of the cyclone, steady to rapid strengthening appears likely as Lee traverses sea surface temperatures of 29 to 30 degrees Celsius during the next few days. So that's like in the mid 80s in Fahrenheit. The National Hurricane Center intensity forecast is similar to the previous advisory, bringing Lee to hurricane strength very soon and to a major hurricane within 48 hours. Continued strengthening seems likely after that time, but hard to predict. Eye wall replacement cycles could cause some fluctuations in intensity later in the weekend and early next week. The National Hurricane Center intensity forecast is near the upper end of the guidance and calls for Lee to reach Category 4 intensity in 2 to 3 days. Okay, so they're staying Category 4, but most models are showing higher than that. So they're erring on the more conservative side. But you can see here that they already have this thing at 150 miles per hour just 72 hours from now. Okay, and within 48 hours, it's going to be already a major hurricane. So within 2 days, it's going to blow up. So get prepared, guys. It's going to be bad. Okay. I know there's a lot of people out there saying that it's going to turn away. There's been a lot of trolls on my videos commenting and saying that there was a new update saying that it's turning away. Please ignore those people. They just have nothing to do with themselves. They probably live in their parents' basement and they're just, wasting my time and wasting your time. There's no models showing that this thing is going to turn away just yet. It's still too early to say if it's going to turn away or hit the US. We don't know. Okay. But as of right now, the latest forecast cone is showing a direct hit towards the US. Okay. It's going directly towards the US. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see. We're going to know better by this coming weekend where this thing is going to go. And by then, people are going to really start to panic. If they come out with a forecast that shows this cone going directly towards Florida or South Carolina somewhere, the panic is going to be insane. So go now and get everything you need now if you don't have what you need. Okay. Because by this weekend, it's going to be chaos, I'm telling you. Okay. And we still have some heat advisories up in various parts of the country. We have a weird heat wave going on here in the Northeast. Here in Pennsylvania, it's supposed to be 90 degrees today. And yesterday it was like 90 degrees. Very strange, very unusual for this time of year. Very warm. And what's funny is last week we had a night where the temperatures went into the 40s. So it's just crazy how it's fluctuating. It's pretty normal for this part of Pennsylvania, very up and down. But for it to be like 90 degrees for several days, I would say is pretty unusual. There's also a drought going on in coastal Texas, eastern Texas. And we also have a very quiet sun right now. The sun was very active the past few months, and now it's really quieted down. So I do think that we've already passed the peak of solar cycle 25, and we're going back down to the solar minimum for this particular solar cycle. Okay. And then we might be entering a grand solar minimum, which could cause global cooling. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to give you an update on the situation with Romania and Tropical Storm Lee. I'm going to continue to monitor these situations. So take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.